I left for college, much like you. Christmas came back and told the whole family in
Everybody.
my "What are we thankful for" speech right before we ate.
I'm thankful for being a lesbian. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Queer Connections podcast. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Keita, and I am your queer love and growth coach. And today we're going to talk about Pride since it's over, talk about coming out with my partner in crime, my homie here, Rihanna Reed. But we want to talk about that, one, because, yes, Pride Month is over, but, we have Pride all year long. But also Pride was different for both of us.
It was a different year this year.
Definitely different. So let's get into that. Why was Pride so different for you?
Yeah, let's jump right in. Pride was different for me just because I have a partner for Pride.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. But more so than that, it was her first Pride.
Yeah.
So for me, it was pretty great to see through her eyes, her experiencing it for the first time, and all the events and all the people and, just going through that. It kind of felt like the first time for me all over again with Pride. Just the month and looking and showing her things she didn't know, Stonewall Riot, just all kinds of things like that. So it was pretty great. But why was it different for you?
Why it was different for me? I'm single, so I was single the first time in a while. I'm trying to think the last time I was single at a Pride, but yeah, single. So it's interesting, right?
Is that what we're calling it?
It's been interesting, right? Because I'm out here.
I'm out here.
But also, I feel like for people that are single, it's like Pride is the best time to shoot your shot or go to you. The amount of people that had just grab me and it was hey, and I'm oh, it's pheromones, people know
they were coming off you.
Yes.
Yes. You're back in the game. Let's go.
Yeah. They're newly single. Oh, yep, that one right there. No. It's it can just smell you. So it was different in that sense, but also I don't know, just doing Pride. This was the first year in a while that we did the Queer Bomb March.
Yes.
All of that, hadn't done that in a few years.
For those of you guys that don't know, Queer Bomb is an Austin parade. It's, non-commercialized, really great. You really just get to get out there and be yourself. It's a lot of fun. So we did that, this year. That was really great to do that, actually.
Yeah. I haven't done that in a hot minute.
Well, I've done it the last couple of years, but having it with a partner again, it was different. It was hot though.
I'm trying to think, what did I do? What did I do for Pride last year? Oh, I was in Vegas.
You were in Vegas.
I was in Vegas. So, and Vegas's Pride is kind of
different.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the queer community in Vegas is kind of there's a lot of lesbians there, but you just don't know where they are.
Well, it's such a transient city, right?
Yeah,
so
in and out for sure. But
here you were back with your friends this year too.
Yeah.
All your friends, your home state. It was a little bit different too, which was great celebrating with all the friends as well.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think we've had this many people all dating people at the same time too.
Except for me. This is
you did it early and we were all chilling.
I know.
We were out here.
They were out here doing what we were doing. I was all booed up and now it's reverse. And some people you could feel a particular kind of way about that, but I didn't at all. Because I was
more for her is what that meant.
Yeah, I was getting it from all angles. But I also got to see one of the clients that I worked with. One of my coaching clients.
We ran into one of your clients.
Ran into one of my clients. That was actually the first time we saw each other in person.
Success story too.
I know.
Should tell a little bit about it. Just
So this particular client, she was newly out, and kind of like Bella had been out for a few years, but was just getting into building a queer community and dating and all of that. And so we were working together and then she just disappeared.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't she just stop contacting you?
Yeah, I was hey, we need to because we were going to switch it up because we were meeting every week, every other week, something like that. And I was hey, I think we're in a position where we can decrease. That way you can be out and about, use these tools, do all that. So she was cool, great. And then just disappeared.
ghosted you as your coach.
I got ghosted. And so then I saw her and I was like, where did you go?
You're good?
She was like, I'm sorry, I met somebody and like got all pulled up. And I was like, this is how you know you're like a true queer person. You're a true lesbian because you found somebody and then you ran away from me. Like
you're done.
Ghosted me.
You know, that'll be a fun topic to talk about maybe in our next one, you know, dating and what's too soon and, you know, the steps of dating or how you know someone
talk
likes
about
you.
the U-Haul thing.
Yeah. Like we should definitely broach that topic later.
Yeah, we're definitely getting into that for sure. But yeah, it was great. And I got to meet her partner like at the march and she was like, I heard so much about you. And I was like, what? Me? Are you talking about me?
Me?
Well, because some of my clients won't tell people that they're
they have
like
coaching.
that they you know they have a dating coach and they work with
the
people.
coaching.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's easier to also ghost me, and
then talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding, but no, it was really great. It was really great to see her, and she's happy, and they look great together. And so, but I think that was also like it wasn't her first Pride, but I think that was the first time like she had done the march and all that. So and done Queer Bomb. So it was. I think this was. I don't know. It felt
happy. Just free, right?
Yeah.
Happy and free. Well, and I can say it was
sure.
great, you know, from the outside. I was experiencing, you know, Pride with Bella, and I'd love to know your opinion on your view of me this year from Pride from past years.
Oh.
But it was...
Well, you went out here plotting and plotting. That's how it was different.
True. But it was great to see you. The best thing about Pride this year and hanging out with you and spending it with you was watching you truly be free, right? You were just out there with not a care in the world. And it's like the definition of, you know, pride, right?
Yeah.
You were just out here truly proud to be yourself,
Yeah.
right? You weren't trying to edit yourself. There was, you know, no one you were trying to take care of or coddle. Like you were just out here.
Was I doing that previously? I was not. That's a dumb question. Let me not ask that question.
I mean, there's no dumb questions, but we know the answer.
Yes, we can save that. But yeah, it definitely, I will say there is some relief to not, to just like be free and not have to worry about somebody else or whatever, or have to deal with if, you know, things happen. And so, yeah, I definitely feel like this year for me was, I was just out here. Like
it was your reset year. Yeah. Truly. Yeah. Honestly, like again, watching you. Yeah. Watching you, you just kind of reset and remembered who you were as Kita. Right? Like not attached to somebody, not trying to make other people happy. You were just like, and
not as like Coach Kita, just like out here Kita. As Kita. I would normally like kind of switch my persona a little bit, like seeing a client. Yeah, but no, I was like marching, had my shirt off because it was hot as balls in Texas.
It was a lot hot. It was offensively hot.
Yeah, so I'm like marching around half naked and it's great, and I'm
dancing, jumping. I mean, I have videos. Let me know if y'all want to see them. I'm just saying.
We will not be posting those videos, but thanks for the offer.
Well, it's what they want, right? It's what I don't know if it, you know. If they ask for it, I got to do it.
So is that what we're doing? You're posing the question.
Well, you ain't got no videos of me.
We'll put a. You're right, because I was not concerned about you.
You were not
concerned about me, myself, and I, and whoever else was coming into my space.
To your space.
Into my
space. There was a lot in your space.
There was a lot.
You remember when you like took that veer off to the right, the curly hair?
Yeah. I did. I'd check it out, say hi, introduce myself.
I see that. You did. No hesitation there.
It feels good to truly be free, y'all. It really does. I think, but this year really is like, it felt like coming out all over again.
And I can see that. Yeah.
In a sense, right? Because I do feel like a new person, like, or just that I'm actually being myself and not being who other people want me to be, which is a good lesson for all my people pleasers out there.
Yes,
it really was a good reset. It really was and I felt like, given everything that was happening, like moved into a new place at the beginning of June, and then
Pride Month was just everything for you.
Everything. And I was like, I'm just just gonna let it rip. Just
I started working out again.
Yeah.
All the
Can you
things.
tell?
Right? Yeah. You can get that muscle. Yeah. So Pride Month just had a lot of different angles for you.
Yeah.
And again, for me too, right? Like
Yeah.
it was, for
It
you.
was great. I will say it was great watching you watch Bella.
Yeah.
You know, and you would just kind of sit back and kind of let her do it, let her do her thing and enjoy it. And like, there was this like fun ease and calm about you, which I feel like is different from previously, because typically when you do Pride and just in our friend group in general, it's like, you're the one planning stuff. You're the one like kind of being responsible for everybody. Like, where are we going? What are we doing? All of that.
True.
And this year you were like, look at my girl over there. Enjoying
just having
Pride.
such a good time.
I know. And then she saw one of her friends and
lost
goodness.
it.
I was like, oh my God.
I just, sat back, let's have another drink on
Yeah,
that one.
you were like, we're going to be here a minute.
we'll be here a little bit. But no, yeah, and it was just like for you, it was kind of like coming out all over again, watching her do that.
Yeah.
And it like watching someone just become themselves.
Yeah.
Truly that transformation. It's beautiful to watch, and I got to see it with one of my dearest friends and my girlfriend. Like it was amazing.
Like all this newness going
all
on.
this newness. I love it.
And you're like, I'm just over chilling and not a care in the world, because nobody was coming up in your space or approaching you or anything like that.
No drama.
No, it was,
there was no drama.
There was not any drama. There
Zero.
has not been any drama like all of June.
All of June. Pride Month for the win.
I know. It's so great. See, queer people can get along. Lesbians are not all of us are full of drama. But
That's
it
true.
was,
That's true.
Yeah, it really was a pretty good
We actually only
experience.
had one instance of seeing an ex. Wasn't one of our exes, to be clear. But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that was like really quick.
It was in passing.
Did I tell you about it was a quick interaction?
Yeah.
But
I waved and kept going.
well, I was like, hey. And then, like, as I'm walking, she's like, where's your other half? And I was like, got rid of that one. And then, no, I just kind of looked at her, was like, And she was like, oh. And I was like, see,
gotta go.
I mean, it was like that all happened. And
in the seconds we're walking
in, like, the
past.
seconds we were walking past. And so.
But, I mean, again, still no drama, right?
Yeah.
It was just like a hello and keep going, which... that's a big one for Pride.
Yeah.
Like, because to your point, it brings everybody out, and there's a lot of people, and that can be an instance where, things get out of control. Someone's not happy about how something ended. And this year there was none of that.
Yeah. I can honestly, here's the thing. I can honestly, truly say, and I don't know how this is even possible, that I don't run into my exes. Like,
Are you the only lesbian in the entire world that doesn't happen to? Because
I really do feel like it, because like, so I have now two, well, yes, because one moved. At one point, right, I had two exes and was like dating somebody all right here in Austin.
And this is the biggest little city?
Yes, those other two, I never see. I never run into.
How is that possible?
I very rarely will like hear their names. There was my ex-wife was the only one that I thought it would be possible for me to see during Pride Month.
I think she would avoid that scenario altogether, though.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, like, no hard feelings. I mean, we're
obviously,
we're cool.
But still, I don't think she was quite ready to see you out here being Keita.
Oh, she would not have been ready for that, I don't think.
So she's going to avoid the scenario. That's just my opinion. And I got nothing but love for her, obviously. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, teach her own. But she was the only person that I was like, maybe. Yeah. Maybe I can see her. And then I actually saw one of her friends.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
so then I was like, oh, she might be here. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe not. But, like, she wasn't. But, like, I promise you, I'm the only lesbian in the world where I do not, let's knock on wood, where I do not run into exes. And I don't know if it's just because of the people I date or
I don't know. I've run into my straight exes at a gay bar, and I'm like, what? Like, how does that happen?
You're like, not you out here doing this again.
Yeah, right. Well, they all of a sudden have a gay best friend, and I'm like, okay, well, here we go.
Okay. You're like, gay best friend.
Okay,
really?
Yeah. I think something
This
got
is a
unlocked.
pattern.
Yeah,
This is a
just
pattern.
go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
I haven't in a while though, so
that's good.
That's good. Yeah, I think the last time was Les Prom.
Really?
Which was back in February. So
yeah, I
You didn't go.
No, I didn't go to that.
Yeah.
But I do not run in Texas.
We're gonna have to change it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't.
I mean, the way I've been out here, I don't know. May run into a few people.
But also that strikes a good point. I have, not necessarily friendships with my exes, but we don't have any hard feelings.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So running into them is not terrible for me.
Oh,
it's just, why do we have to run into each other?
Yeah. Like I have no, like literally all of my exes could walk through the door and I'd be like, hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
Like, would they be that way?
I don't know.
That's where the drama could or could not unfold.
Not my circus, not my monkey. I don't know. I have no clue. Like, however they feel is however they feel, because I, like you said, am in this fresh start and reset and just being me. So,
I mean, let's say it candid. You're just worried about you right now.
I'm very much just worried about
like everybody else's feelings.
What did Issa Rae say? It's feeling like a me season.
It's a me season.
It's a me season. It's feeling like a me season.
It's a whole you season.
Look, I'm not even mad about it. We're only we're just getting started. We're just getting started. But yes, it's like coming out all over again. So
speaking of coming out all over again,
yep.
Why don't you tell your original?
Coming out story. Oh my gosh!
I mean, you got to dig in the old memory bank.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't even know if I've actually shared this like publicly. So, I was, So I came out. It was right before I went to college. Like, I always knew, like, there's
so
something
going 18, 19?
Well, I was young going. It was because my birthday's not till August. Yeah. So I was 17, but I would turn 18 right before I went to school, right? And so I am quite the journaler and writer. And so I journaled everything. I have like stacks of journals and all that. I have to
read through those one day.
Have you seen the comedy shows where like they do that? Like you get on stage and you read your journals from back in the day?
I have not. I have mine and nope.
Look, those people, I'm like, I don't feel so bad about my journaling, but I like journaled everything. And so what happened was one of my friends from high school, she had already graduated, she was in college, and she came down to and we were going to meet like for dinner and stuff. And then I was going to go hang out with her for like the weekend. Okay. Well, she brought her roommate. No, it really was just like a roommate.
That's how it started back in the day. It was your best friend or your roommate.
No, she brought her roommate straight, right? And I immediately was like,
uh-oh.
I'm in trouble. Something's going on.
I don't know what I'm feeling here, but I'm feeling something.
So I literally just spent the summer with him, and
I bet you did.
And
did you land the girl?
It was kind of complicated because she had a boyfriend.
They always do. Like that first one like always does.
I know, but like he was like, sure, like.
So yes, you got to explore it, just not.
I mean,
take it
yes,
okay, that's
yes,
fun,
got to explore it for sure, but we didn't take it there, right? If I did, I would have been like jacked up. Really, I would have been tore up, right? She already had me tore up, but so anyways, so like we were hanging out and all this other kind of stuff, and so I was journaling about all these things that are going on, and like she did some outrageous things, right? So like I loved Genuine back in the day.
Pony.
So
that's when come on.
My song was In Those Jeans.
Of course it was.
So she called my house one day. Look. She called my. Luckily, I answered, but she called my house. We had landlines back in the day. We didn't have.
I had the light up phone, by the way.
Yeah, it's like the clear one.
The clear one, so you could turn the ringer off and not get in trouble.
So she called my phone, and I pick up, and all that's playing is that song. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I'm journaling about all of this. I'm journaling about like how we're making out, all that kind of stuff, and so I'm feeling. Not like weird about it, but I'm like,
this is somebody.
Yeah. This is like this feels really good, right? So I actually purposely was journaling about her and about like being gay, all this other kind of stuff, and I left it I don't know if I left it on the table out somewhere.
Oh.
And I think like I did it on purpose because I was
going to
knew
say
my
subconsciously
mom,
was it going to be on
I did
purpose?
it because my mom nosy as hell, and I know she was going to like look at it and see it.
So then she could ask you and you could say it out
Yeah.
loud.
And so, but here's what happened. So I leave it out, and then I go to the movies with.
You were really trying to come out like that.
I was like, oh, whatever happens, happens, right? And so I get back from the movie, and my oldest sister and my mom, they're in my mom's room. They're like watching a movie, and so my mom's like, "Hey, come here." So I'm like, "Yeah."
Intervention time.
And so she was like, "So I was reading your journal."
Did you have a reaction? Like
I didn't because I was like,
yes.
all right, great, all right,
Cool,
we're
I
starting
don't
the
have to tell
conversation. But then I got really nervous, and she was like, I was reading your journal. She was like, I'm just like, I'm kind of thrown off about like what you're writing because like I'm not gonna lie, my journal was kind of graphic. I'm not. It was like if there was a lesbian smut back in the day, I kind of had a little bit in that sprinkled in with like some mushy feely stuff, some like anger towards my mom, but also like lesbian smut. Like that was me, right? So she was talking about that, and then she was like, and then my sister chimes in and was like, I just feel like this girl's like taking advantage of you. Now, granted, my sister had, oh God, this story is so long, but you have to piece together. So
you got to get all the sides.
Yeah. So my sister had an interaction with this girl. They had come over, we were going to the club back in the day, but you had to like get dressed, everybody got dressed all together. And we were like pre-gaming or whatever. My mom like let us drink before we went. And so like these little moments, like I'm getting dressed and getting ready, and she's like,
tickling your side or grabbing.
No, she just comes up in the bathroom and is like right behind me, like body up on me, and I was like,
but you're like,
I'm like, but like, we're in my mom's house, like, what are we doing?
I mean, that's kind of fun back then, though. That was the thing to do.
But I was nervous. Like now, I'd be like, that's what I would do. But back then, nervous as shit. Yeah. So that's happening, and she's doing all this little stuff, and so I'm like in the kitchen, I'm making her a drink, and the way
look at you already serving her up, like she did have you wrecked.
Look,
clearly,
she was like, "Can you make me a drink?" And I was like,
"Yeah, let me stop what I'm doing.
Whatever you want me to do." Like had me wrapped. So the way our kitchen is here, our living room is here, and so like our fridge is here. So I'm like in the fridge, the door's open. She's sitting right here behind me, and my sister's over there.
So she sees, she's like dead vision.
Yeah, but I can't see my sister's face, right? And she can't see mine. So I'm in the freezer, and I'm like getting ice and stuff like that. And the girl looks over at my sister, and she goes, "Have you ever been with a girl before?"
Oh, wow. She was putting you
I'm
on.
in the middle of like getting ice, and like the door is here, so you can't see my reaction. And I just did this. I was like, and like took a moment to like breathe. And my sister's like, no, like I'm strictly dickly, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Hence the journal and leaving it out. It was the elephant was in the room at that moment.
Yes. And so, so she was like, are you sure? She was like, you just like never tried it. And she was like, no, not really. And so, and my sister goes, hey, Kita. And I was like, huh? Like, what?
I didn't hear it.
What? And so she was like, have you ever been with a girl? And I was like, nah, like, I don't know.
That would never be me.
That's a weird question to ask me. Why? No, I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. So then that moment, I'm talking to my mom and my sister. My sister chimes in, and she was like, I just feel like this girl's like taking advantage of you, and you don't like really know like what's going on.
It's always the you don't know.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't really know. It's like we're just friends. Like I got some stuff that I'm just like trying to process. Like, don't be fucking reading my journal. But
also thank you for reading my journal.
Like reading my journal. And then like the one thing I asked my mom not to do is like tell my dad, and she told my dad. And then of course I have this whole conversation with him about how I'm going to hell and all this other kind of stuff. But so it was there, but we didn't really talk about it.
You didn't fully broach it, but
being like, this is who yes, you are. I'm out, like, all that. I like girls, all that. it wasn't until I came back. I had my full year. Was it the full year? It might not even be the full year. I think I was like back from Christmas for
it
college.
It just took you getting away for a couple months. And you were like, yeah, this is me.
Well, I went to college, cut my hair, dyed it like,
oh yeah,
Kelly Rowland red, like everything. My mom was pissed. Like
she was more mad about the hair than the girls.
than anything else, right? So I went to, of course, I played softball, so my team's like full of lesbians, right?
Yeah, of course.
So we're all like bonding cool. So I'm like really feeling comfortable within myself. And I was going to Dallas to visit one of my friends, and so she was on her way to like pick me up, and we were having this conversation about the Bible and God and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sitting on my mom's like kitchen counter, and my friend pulls up and she honks, you know, so I know she's outside. And I go, well, I'm gay, so I guess I'm going to hell. And I hop off the counter. I hopped off the counter, grabbed my bags, and was like, see y'all later for the weekend.
Wow.
And I just gave my mom the weekend to process it.
And I have to ask, how did she do when he came back after the weekend?
Not great. I mean, my mom's definitely not like my dad. My dad was like, you know, he still has issues with it. Like, you're going to hell, you're this, and I was attacked in the womb, and, you know, devil, like all of that kind of stuff. My mom was just like, she didn't understand, but I have an older gay cousin, so she goes and she talks to my aunt. My cousin, like, talks to me, and she was like, you know, well, your mom told me that y'all had a conversation. And I'm like, yeah, I like girls, like, super gay.
Super gay.
So, of course, she, like, takes me in her wing. And so, and I spend the summer in Maryland with her, like, living my best gay life. And,
and then it was it.
Yeah, and that was it. And so she got a lot of backlash from that. But I'm like, she was helping me. We were talking about. So, yeah, my mom was, like, cool. My mom was very much one of those ones of, like, we're not going to talk about it. And, like.
But it's there.
But it's there. Now she's great. She's fine. Like, she doesn't, you know, she doesn't have issues with it. Like, my dad still does. I'm like, Dad, get with it. I've been gay for
2024 at this point. Like,
really
it's not changing. It's not a phase.
Yeah, it's not a phase.
That
it's not
statement, man, listen. Well, I mean, that's great. A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily full support, but, you know, to that point, a lot of people are like your dad.
Yeah.
Still have issues, you know, go the extreme.
Yeah.
You know, funny, my dad didn't realize I was gay until he saw me carrying a wallet.
With the chain on it?
With the chain.
Classic lesbian movie.
Yeah. And he was like, what's that chain to? And I was like, well, my wallet. And he's like, well, why do you have a wallet? And I was like, by the way, I lost my dad last year. Rest in peace. His year anniversary is coming up next week. So this is a fun story to tell for him right now. But he was like, well, why do you have a wallet? And I was like, well, Dad, you know, I'm gay. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, let's go grab a burger. So we go eat. We go eat. And it took him about 3 seconds. And he goes, well, which celebrities do you think are hot? So we settled back then on Mila Jovovich and Kate Beckinsale. We fought over her, both of them really, until they passed. And after that, he was like, cool, now we can check out women together. And we went to the bar, and that was it. Like, you know, my dad was very easy.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Mom, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Mom was more like your dad.
Yeah. Well, there's always one.
There's always one. I mean, she just got hip with it when I started dating Bella, right? Like, she's
so great now. We had a whole conversation.
She loves it now, but, you know, funny enough, she was okay with other people's kids.
Like, well, it's
the weirdest thing in the world. And, you know, and I told her one day, you know, and I'll tell my story in a minute, but I told her one day, Mom, I'm black. Mm-hmm. I'm a female. Mm-hmm. You really think I just choose to be gay? Yeah. Like, let me make my life harder.
A lot harder,
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, but that still didn't stick for some reason. Like, it still didn't change anything. And I got forced to go to church and do all that. And she made me miss school one day to talk to the pastor. Like, it was a whole thing.
I got hands laid on me, like pulled like, up to the front of the
Jesus.
Yes, yeah. I got pulled up to the front of the church. Yes, speaking in tongues. Everybody put their hands on me, and then I was told that I was on the path to destruction, and I was like, I'm on the path to destruction, but like, these drug addicts right here that bounce back and forth, you're not worried about them? Like,
what's happening?
Y'all aren't worried about, y'all not going to pull them up? Like,
so praying the gay away doesn't work. Moral of the story.
Does not work.
But it's actually funny. I saw, I think it was a link on TikTok or Instagram, and I can't remember whose it was, but she says, if all the people that, church and Bible and says that being gay is a sin, well, Jesus died for our sins, so I guess he died for us to be gay. Like,
there you go.
So, I mean, thanks for that. But next time someone tries to throw that at you, that's a fun thing to tell them. But I guess I should jump into my story.
Yeah.
I was a little bit younger. I was 15, and at a private Catholic high school, no less.
I could see how at 15 you would know.
Yeah.
Private Catholic.
Well, it wasn't all girls school. It was not an all girls. But funny enough, everybody embraced me at school. I had no issues, and I was the only openly gay kid at my entire high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So shout out to high school for that.
Right?
So it made my years. Even I actually have in my yearbook why people wrote like, I hope you find the lady of your dreams and stuff. Yeah, no, it was really, really cool. Yeah. So yeah, it was awesome.
There's some good Catholics out there.
There are. My first girlfriend was my best friend, of course, that got to spend the night all the time, which was great. I was living with my mom for some of the time, and she was like, you can have girls spend the night all the time. And I was like, yeah. She had no clue.
Like, you don't know what you just did.
Thank you. But by the time I actually came out, God, it was actually pretty simple story. My best friend and I, and funny enough, you brought up Genuine. We were listening to the 100% Genuine album.
Shout out, yes.
So we were listening to that album on repeat, and I should say CD, because it was a CD back then. So we're listening to that on repeat and in the dark, no less. So I think you can guess what happens next.
Genuine helped all the lesbians back in the day. She just didn't know it.
So, and we actually were together for 8 months. And I went to my uncle. I was living with my uncle, by the way, at this point. And I go and I sit with him and I said, Uncle Tim, I think I like girls. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, a couple of things. He's like, you already were born into some disadvantages because, again, your ethnicity and you're a female.
Yep.
And he goes, so I just want you to make sure that this is what you want.
Yeah.
Because obviously I played basketball and I was playing up. I was playing with 18-year-olds. So there were a lot of them that were gay, not out yet because of the time in my life, obviously back then. But he was no fool to that. And so he just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting influenced by outside parties. And he's like, listen, you need to be convicted. If this is who you are, own it because you're going to face some backlash. And he's like, but I love you. And as he's walking out, he goes, no girls can spend the night anymore. And I was like,
dang,
I should have kept it to myself.
You messed it up.
I should have kept it to myself.
You messed it up.
So that's when I came out to my uncle, and I came out to another aunt later that next week. And then living with him, I didn't really have to discuss it with anybody.
Yeah.
But I left for college, much like you. Christmas, came back and told the whole family in my "What are we thankful for" speech right before we ate.
I'm thankful for being a lesbian.
I'm super thankful that I know I'm gay. Thanks, guys.
And everybody
was fine except my mom.
So your mom was like, you could have kept that to yourself. Huh?
My mom was like, well, you don't know that. And I'm like, well,
no, I know that.
The last year of my life.
I definitely know that.
You don't want to know that.
That's the thing where people are always like, you don't know. And it's like, how but like you knew, like you knew you were straight.
I actually knew at 10.
Yeah, so. I mean, I knew young, right? Like,
funny. Remind me in a little bit to tell you a story about how my uncle knew I was 3. By the way,
look. If I showed you, I gotta show you this picture. I showed you that picture of me in like 4th grade, like Jordans on,
but that was
baggy
the style,
pants.
right? Though Tommy Hilfiger, K-Swiss. I mean, that's how I dressed.
It was a style for lesbians. Yes. That wasn't just like a style for anybody, but definitely a style for lesbians for sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're mad, but they were buying us these clothes.
I know.
Because I didn't have any money.
Well, like my older gay cousin, she would buy my clothes because like my mom, like, and when she first started doing it, she was like talking to my mom about like what to buy me. She was buying me a bunch of like girly stuff, like the V-neck. It just didn't fit right. And I was like, I'm not gonna wear this. Like, I appreciate it, but that's not my style, you know? I mean, I'm not super masculine or anything, but I'm not gonna wear that.
I have a picture in a dress crying.
Yes.
Because it was just not the was not the move.
And so then we had a conversation about like what I actually like to wear, and so she was like buying a lot of my clothes.
Well, that makes sense.
And so
that was me too. I mean, my aunt would let me pick out what I wanted, and you know, it was Tommy and Polo and K-Swiss, and you know, I did wear Jinkos. Not proud of that, but
look,
but I did
everybody had
a little bit.
pair of Jinkos. It's fine,
but they were 12 sizes too big for no reason.
I know, but it was such the style though, so that's just like what you had to roll with.
It was, but no, funny story. So my uncle.
Oh yeah, you were 3.
Tell me about 3 years old, guys. And back in the day, this is the 80s, so garages were the place to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And he had centerfold, Playboy centerfolds and Maxim, all that. Centerfolds, they were basically his wallpaper from floor to ceiling all over the garage.
Best uncle ever.
Best uncle ever. Didn't realize that I got big enough and smart enough to open doors. So I open the door, walk into the garage, and they're not even in the garage at this point. So I just walk in and I see the walls. And he comes in shortly behind me and says that I'm just standing there, turning in circles, looking at all the pictures, mesmerized. Just, whoa, what is this?
Like, I need my garage to look like this,
you know?
In the future.
And he told me that story, oh God, probably when I was about 20, and I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, Riri, I already knew. Like, it wasn't surprised when you came out.
And this brings me to my next point of like, is coming out even like, I know that it's necessary for some, but like my whole thing is like why can't we get to, or can we get to the point to where like we can just live our lives? Like if I had kids, I want my kids to just roll up like
with their partner.
Yeah,
right?
with their partner, doesn't matter. And like, which obviously like with me being queer, it won't be hard. It won't be hard, but that's my point. Is like, because I've had people tell me, oh, I've known. I had a cousin tell me that I was younger, like, you're gonna be just like, you know, my Tamisha, my oldest cousin, and I was like military? She was like, no, gay fool, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, duh, like obviously, like, do you not see me? So like for me, is the coming out necessary?
So unfortunately, yes. First of all, a couple of things. When you're announcing yourself to the world, no matter what you're doing, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Right. But
obviously,
when you are going what is supposed to be a social norm, I think it gives you a sense of empowerment because you're going against the grain, as they say. Should there be a grain? No. Right.
Yeah.
But there is. And for me, you know, I think a lot about it. I agree with you. I don't think people should have to come out.
Yeah.
But on the other side, being able to believe in yourself and have that self-confidence to say, hey, I'm different, also helps a lot of people in their journey.
That's
right?
True.
So, you know, I really think it just depends on who you are and how that works. You know, like my current partner, Bella, she called her mom and goes, you know, by the way, I'm dating a woman. And her mom's like, well, you tried with men. That didn't work. We'll see what happens. She tells it a lot better when she's on. But
I love it.
You know, it wasn't necessarily her announcing it, but it was just, hey, so normally you see me with men. Now you're not gonna.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I love that aspect. It should be like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you find it offensive when you come out and people go, oh, yeah, we knew a long time ago?
No, not even a little bit. Because that means you're paying attention to who I am and not who you want me to be.
Oh, that's good. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's with anything, right? If you notice your kid has a knack for instruments, do it. If you notice they're an athlete, do it.
Yeah.
Art, right? That is you paying attention to the people and who they are as people.
Yeah.
So for me, that's not offensive. I'm happy that you were paying close enough attention instead of making me up in your mind of some image that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And I have this experience of like I like when you say that like you're paying attention, because I think people pay attention and they know, and then they try to skew you a completely different way. And like I've seen that happen in my own family. Like I have a niece, very much tomboy.
You told me about your niece.
Yes, like tomboy, curly hair, beautiful curly hair, but because she looked like a boy, she got like at Christmas. I sat there and watched
told
them.
Me this story.
Like
I'm hurt.
Do her hair, put her hair in like little plaits and barrettes and stuff.
And she's just uncomfortable.
Yes, and you can see it on her face, and I'm too triggered to just like say something, like say anything, but I am like fuming on the inside. And so I think it is different when people go, oh yeah, totally new, like great, you don't have to like really say anything, come out. I think that's different than going, oh yeah, we always knew, but like this is what we're going to do to make sure that you are not gay, because you're just choosing that. I'm like, I don't think you're like 3, 4, 5-year-old like choosing.
Yeah, and I didn't really agreed. And that's the other side of it. And that's, I didn't really think of that point either. When they do pay attention and try to edit or alter, that's the other side of it. And that's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. And, you're literally trying to make someone something they're not.
Yeah.
Right. But, unfortunately, I think a lot of those people are just not happy in their lives either. Right. And so they're too focused on all of that out there versus what they could be doing to be happy, or maybe some of them are just suppressing what they really feel. Yeah, I mean,
I feel like there's a lot of them that are out there that are because people don't understand. I think for so long we have lived in this like either or, world, this instead of living in like an and world. And I think we are getting to the point to where there are, instead of these two options, there are 25 other options and possibilities, and there's spectrums, and there's this. And so I think that's where we're evolving. But like, you have this older generation. I was like, man, woman, like, you're
that's
male,
how you lived,
female, it's black, white. It's like, there's no gray area. There's no other options.
No room for growth.
Yeah. These two things. And so I will say that we are fortunate enough to have like grown up in that time and being able to see the times that we're living in now, because like this young generation now,
they got it made. They got it made, and they don't care.
Man, they be walking around full on relationships and like middle school.
Yeah,
They'd be like, "Miss my girlfriend." I'd be like,
"You're what? You're what?" Because my best friend and I in middle school actually, 15 years later, realized we were each other's one of our first crushes. Yeah. Right? Like, we talked about it later when we both had come out, and she was like, yeah, I think you're kind of my first crush. And I was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, she had me sick like your girl. Like, I was listening to like She Sweat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Brandy. Yeah. So like, Brandy, have you ever loved somebody? I'm like, oh my, in the room. And this whole, and the crazy part about it is like, I dated this guy in 8th grade. He's a great guy, right? But like I had one of my friends break up with him because he like
that was the thing to do.
Yeah,
either a letter in your locker or your friend does it.
Yeah, well, I had one of my friends partying and kissed me, and it was just like, and I was just like, I can't.
It doesn't feel right.
I'm trying so hard, but I can't. So I had one of my friends break up with him. But like, so I'm listening to these songs, right? And everybody in my family thinks it's about him. And I'm like, no, like,
not even a little bit.
No, I'm like crushing on, like, I had all kinds of crushes, but like none I could like really act on or whatever. And I had to kind of like process that like for myself. But I went to the high school I went to, it went no way. Yeah, no way that I was coming out in like BFE, East Texas.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely not. Thank goodness I grew up here.
Yeah.
But funny enough, because when I got to middle school, I had moved from kind of a lower class area and ended up getting a transfer into an upper middle class middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And to that point, everybody I grew up with were, t-shirts, just didn't dress well. First day of middle school, girls in spaghetti straps and skirts.
You were like,
what is happening?
Let me step up my game.
That's when the K-Swiss and the Tommy and that's where that came in. But
hitting them 10.
But I did wear I wore a pantsuit to my first dance. I don't know how my mom didn't figure it out there.
Your mom just let you wear this?
It was a brown pantsuit. It looked like one of those 90s casual women's business.
Did you have the ruffles?
No ruffles. Okay. No. But I have a picture somewhere. I have to dig out.
I've got to see this picture.
But it's
do y'all want to see this picture? If she shows this video, I'm gonna have her post this picture.
Oh, I have some girly pictures of me too that will just.
Oh, I do too. We are not going to relive those moments.
We should have an episode of that. Another question. Y'all want an episode of us reliving those girly moments?
No. No. I don't know if I have a lot.
I mean, I know you have some.
I know I have some, but I did not want to be photographed in those clothes. I was so uncomfortable.
I didn't either, but you do things back then. It's funny because I shopped in the men's section for the first time my senior year in high school, and actually some of my friends made fun of me.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, you could just get an extra large women's. And I was like, but it fits weird. Yeah. Right? I didn't like it.
You're like, no, it's not the same.
The next year, that person asked me to help them shop in the men's section. So some poetic justice there.
See?
But I got tan cargo shorts, Old Navy.
I couldn't and
a red plaid button down.
I refuse to wear those cargo shorts. I don't know what
I wouldn't wear them now.
No, back then I refused to, and I'm like, I'm gay, but I'm not that gay. I don't know. I mean, I am, but like
really?
I just refuse. And if I did, because I did have a pair, I think this is my cousin bought them for me. I did have a pair, but if I wore those, then I wore like kind of like a girly tank, right? Yeah. And I can see how people are like, oh, you're so androgynous, right? Exactly, I do have a little bit in the mix, but I don't know. So I'm like, I put those on and I was like, it just didn't do it. It didn't.
See, and mine was because I would never wear them now, and I don't even think I really liked them then.
Yeah.
But it was a way to
like the
say
signature
without saying gay.
Yeah.
Right? So that was why I had them. Yeah. Right? It was like I wanted to start being that person but didn't know how.
Yeah.
Right? And so I knew those looked real gay. So let's get those.
They did. It was like the plaid shorts in college.
Oh God, yes.
That's how you know.
And basketball jerseys.
Can spot a lesbian from a mile away. Yep.
Yep.
We can talk about like how the fashion trends have evolved in the queer community.
We could probably find pictures in those stages of ourselves.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it was just not a cute
Oh
moment.
my gosh. We have come a long way, have we not?
We have. We definitely have. I think about some of the clothes and some of the things first coming out, like trying to be extra gay just to prove that I was gay. I'm so glad we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting though? Because back then I would go out of my way to like meet lesbians, or like I worked in the mall briefly, like who didn't, right?
Yeah.
But I worked in Champs in the mall. And so every lesbian that would get by, I would get super excited and want to be like, let me help them. I want to make sure to help them. But then we got older and it got weird to like try and meet lesbians.
Yeah.
Like how does that happen?
I played softball, so I was on always the team full of lesbians. So it was like you didn't really have to really go far to meet another lesbian.
Did you date a teammate? Because I did.
No.
Fortunately, I dated a senior,
we already had way too much drama. In high school I wasn't really out. I didn't really come out until I went to college, and then when I went to college, we had two teammates that were dating, and it was like they were like terrible at hiding it. And I'm like, y'all, you don't have to hide. Like everybody knows y'all are like dating.
It's a thing.
Right?
It's a thing.
Like thing. It's fine. Like do what y'all got to do. Like all these gay people, like we don't give a shit. Like. But I did it, and I'm like, we had so much drama, and then when I was at North Texas, I didn't really I only really hung out with like 4 other girls on the
I
team.
dated a teammate. No drama. Well, there was, but
exactly.
not during basketball though.
Yeah.
Like not during the sport, doing any of that.
Yeah.
It was outside. But fortunately, she was a senior.
Yeah.
And I was a freshman, so
I think
she skedaddled.
I
We
think
were
that's
good.
I think that's like a basketball thing. I feel like softball players.
Rude.
Well, no, because I feel like softball players, like, very rarely are we gonna date a teammate, and softball players, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you date someone from a different team. Like that, like I've seen it all in travel ball, high school, like in college when I played JUCO in that first year. And we had our crossover tournament, like the West Conference and the East Conference, they get together, and then like you play those teams.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a crossover tournament, and it was like a mini pride, and it was like you got to see your girl on this team and that team and all that. And then when I went back to coach, it was the same thing. It was like a mini pride, where it's like you played this team, and like I remember when I was coaching, a pitcher from another team had to like pitch her girlfriend, and she had a home run off of her, and I was
Ouch.
like, and I'm
fight
like,
later about that one.
I'm like, not you hitting a bomb off your girlfriend right here. And but like I feel like that happens that happens more often, I think, in softball than actually dating teammates.
I mean, I dated women from other teams too.
Yeah.
I just happened to date her.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, because I was traveling, I went to school in College Station, but I was in Dallas, I was in Houston,
yeah.
I was out here.
Yeah.
And during the NCAA tournament, it was in Dallas my freshman year, and we all went to Six Flags, and it was gay day at Six Flags. Like literally gay day. We did not know.
I love it.
That was amazing. That is when I met a
freaking
really crazy girl, y'all.
We'll talk about the
crazies
later. Yeah.
But
off their rocker. Yeah, we'll talk about those.
We should have an episode of that.
Oh, we are. We've
But
had
other
plenty.
than that, guys, I just, coming out, I hate that it's necessary, but I
Yeah.
do think that it is. Just because, again, you need to make sure that you announce who you are to anybody, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to be a musician, like I said previously, announce yourself to the world, but don't make it as I have to tell them. Just make it in confidence in who you are.
Yeah. Like you want to. Not like it's something that you have to do. I mean, if you're in a position right now and you feel like you don't want to come out, or you don't have to come out, and you can just show up with your partner, great. Do that, right? Do whatever you have to do and whatever is comfortable for you. And just own it and be proud about it and have a lot of pride. Go to Pride, all that.
All the prides.
All the prides. Pride used to be trouble. People used to break up at prides. You like show up at Pride.
Used to be. That's probably still a thing. We just don't hang out in those circles anymore. We're a little bit older. I should hope that we no.
I don't know.
I mean, that's like Texas Relays.
I was like, Texas Relays is where girls got taken from their boyfriends.
The night, the lights off party.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Get that was Pride again, all over again.
And I can't tell you, like, I'm trying to think of like all the events that are like mini prides that I've had in my life. Oklahoma City, the Women's College World Series, mini pride. Like that's all it is.
I feel like everywhere's mini Pride now.
Right?
Like you go anywhere. Like just recently, my girlfriend went to the Joan Jett concert, and she was like,
"Well, it's Joan Jett."
I don't disagree, but like everywhere we go now, it's tons of lesbians.
Well,
I just went on a cruise and like everywhere.
Well, take me where they are then, or y'all just come find me. I don't know.
Find that energy. Find that energy.
DM me.
Which we are going to Vegas soon, so y'all should meet us there.
I'm not even gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment on it. I love Vegas, by the way. I mean, you can meet me anywhere. I'm a lesbian. I'll drive, take a flight, train, boat, like whatever. How do
I get there? How do
I get there? What do I got to do?
You take dog sled,
Underground Railroad.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. I will get there as long as you also get to me somehow. And
we'll drive you for support. You already know.
I know.
We always band together.
Y'all have Y'all have always been the best supporters, no matter what stage of my life I'm in. You're like, you need it? Okay, great. Let's go. Let's get in the car. I got it.
We're on the way.
Awesome. Babysitting the dog sitting for me. So, I can do what I do.
Doing that a lot recently.
That's because my dog likes being over here.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's not 'cause she's going to be home by herself?
She's part of the pack.
She is.
She wouldn't have been home by herself last night.
She
would not have gotten the attention that she needed.
Have you met your dog?
I have met my dog.
Okay.
That's why.
That's why you left her here.
That's why I left her here, because I know I didn't want her to not get the attention that she needed.
She would have interrupted.
No, she would have. No, she does this she huffs and puffs. Yeah, she would have just laid there looking at her watch. It's her paw. That's
should have left me and my cousin.
I know, right? Oh man, look, we're getting sidetracked. But y'all, look, be proud, love who you are, come out if you want to come out. Just be in a position where you can fully embrace yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else says about you, what anybody else thinks about you. Be you in whatever shape or form that looks like. And if you have to reinvent yourself, and if you have to start over, and you have to reset, don't make that a negative thing. Understand that you can start over as many times as you want to, because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from the experience that you already have. So go out there, be you.
Absolutely, guys. And just remember, you don't have to label yourself in any one way or the other. Right? I know a lot of people try and force labels on you. You don't have to do that. Be exactly who you are and be that person right then and there. And to Keita's point, it can change.
Yeah.
And it is okay. Change is beautiful, although it can be scary.
You want to make sure that you like and subscribe, and of course hit the bell so you can get the notification when video gets posted and when the podcast gets posted. We're on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, or you can watch this on YouTube. Just make sure that you get your notifications on so you don't miss an episode. And of course, remember to trust and love one more time, and always one more time. Love you all.
Bye, guys.
Peace.